Here we go. Say hello to everybody.
Hi. Wait.
He's right there. Don't trip over the cords.
Hello. As you guys all know, this is Athena.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, all right. So we're going to go ahead and begin. Let me see. Excuse me, ma'am. Got to get it all teed up. Ready to go. Yes, ma'am. Is it in there? What's that? You can see the light.
Oh.
Let's go. I can still see it, ma'am.
Well, we can see right here if it's on or off.
You should be able to. However, all right. Looks pretty good. What do you think?
Oh, this thing fell outside.
Careful. You don't want to press mute on that. Did that before. All right. So we'll go ahead and begin. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. Hello. I am Athena, as you guys all know. While my dad is getting ready, I will tell you.
That you're ready to have a great weekend.
Yes, I am great.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and begin. Thank you, Athena. I appreciate the pause. So while everybody gets set for this, the tree behind me looks dead. It's actually just a silhouette of a tree. That's funny. Thank you, Bram. Appreciate that. Hi, Stephen and family. Sing. They want you to sing. Oh, Alana, come on in. Alana Joe, also known as AJ. We've been watching a lot of medieval things on Netflix lately. Wow, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for attending, Alana Joe and
now leaving
Rose.
Princess Alana.
So we'll go ahead and get started. And there we go. You'll still see a little bit of me, a tiny me. I can always toggle away and you can see a big me, but we're going to go ahead and begin. And without further ado, the Housing Debrief, episode 3. Already episode 3. And I'd like to thank our wonderful, incredible sponsor. And that, of course, is Kevin Buddy from Monarch Financial. And, you know, Kevin deals with more than one kind of borrower and, of course, more than one kind of loan. And he deals with everything from full documentation loans to alternative documentation loans to investor financing and private money loans. So everything from full private money and everything in between. Loads and loads of experience. He's been doing this since 1976, helping out borrowers, of course, real estate professionals as well, making them shine by, he just knows what he's doing. He's a personal friend of mine and he knows his stuff. He just sent me some things on the change in the 10-year over this last week. And I have been watching with bated breath, of course. So Monarch Financial, Kevin Buddy, my buddy and your buddy, contact him today to help you out. And you can reach him at 949-422-2075. That's 949-422-2075. All right. So our company is Reports on Housing, your local real estate snapshot. And really, we're about driving home, not what's happened in the past. We don't focus that much on closed sales data. Closed sales data is up for the month of January. You can read it in the papers. Everybody gets it at the same time. But you can't really navigate based upon looking in the rearview mirror in the past. Instead, what's going on today? What's the active listing inventory look like? The available number of homes for sale, as well as what is the last 30 days worth of pending sales look like? That's demand. From that, we're able to get the expected market time. That's if you place your for sale sign in the yard today, when are you opening up escrow? And we do that by price range, by city, all of that. So we can really nail down what's going on in a given county and a given area. It blows the socks out of days on the market and really is a true indicator of the speed of the market. It's about setting expectations And it gives everybody the strength to navigate in this market. Agents, it gives you the strength to shine in this marketplace. When there is so much information on the internet, this really does drive home power in data. You can't refute data and what's going on. It's a real good, solid model, and that's what I present on an every other week basis, the economic model of housing, but I do it in a way that's understandable and easy, bite-sized pieces. So we have reports that dot all over Southern California. Actually, in another couple weeks, LA hits their 2-year mark, then San Diego, then Riverside and San Bernardino, all in the coming months. And the most recent one came out this week, and it's called No Top in Sight, and that's along the coast, LA, Orange County, San Diego County, and then San Bernardino and Riverside. We actually crunched the numbers last night, and that report comes out this coming up Monday. But no top in sight. This means that we're not really about to hit the peak or anything like that in this big giant housing run that's been going on since 2012. Please don't tell me that there's different housing cycles or things along those lines. That's not really what the marketplace is like. You have to look at the economic fundamentals of housing. So what's underneath of the hood? Go to reportsonhousing.com, click on subscribe, and it comes out every 2 weeks. We'll send you the most recent email with a ton of links at the bottom of that. There's even charts, about 20 charts that are updated with every single report. It's $15 per month or $150 per year, and you get a month free if you sign up utilizing the coupon code RATES, because that's what we're talking about today is rates, and it is interest rates, rising rates. They are on the rise. So with that said, people have asked me all the time, hey, Stephen, what keeps you up at night? And I'm here to tell you what really keeps me up at night lately has been interest rates too low, and which means plenty for the marketplace. I am actually rooting for rates to go up, and because right now we have rates that are just absolutely too low, rock bottom low. They have been in the twos, historical lows. We hit, what was it, 17 record lows in the past year? Way too many record lows, right? So people are going, what gives, Stephen? Why are you rooting for the opposite of what's good for housing? Yes and no. Low interest rates are great for housing, but ultra low interest rates were good at getting us out of this tailspin that the pandemic was starting. However, gosh, you know what? Housing was strong beforehand. Housing is strong again. Now it's too strong. It's actually got the fundamentals of housing. There is too much demand. There's too much going on. So ultra low rates leads to the following: an ultra low inventory. We have inventories that are at record lows and they're far too low. And then homeowners are afraid to come on the market. We hear a lot of homeowners say there's nothing to buy, even though they should be talking to their real estate professional and going, what can you do for me? Since there's such limited inventory, how about rent back for 2 months? There's so much demand out there that you can get somebody to bite off on going ahead and allowing you to stay in the home for a couple months. Shoot, there's so many offers that are generated. You might get somebody that will pay, say you can live in it rent free for 2 months. There's also, you can do it contingent upon finding a new home. So there are things that you can do, but this is limiting the number of homeowners coming on the market right now. Ultra low rates leads to surging demand, too much demand. You could say there's too much demand when there's a property that is listed, like around $750,000, and it gets about 25 offers on the house. That's too many people that are vying to purchase at the same exact time. Bidding wars. We have, then you get the bidding wars when you have those 25 offers that are against each other. So it's really like an auction-like atmosphere. And then you have an overheated housing market and unhealthy rapid appreciation. The most recent Case-Shiller report came out, 10% year-over-year gains in the United States for housing. 10% is too hot. It also leads to a sensitivity to rising rates. The longer that we're appreciating at a fast pace and the hotter the market is, the more that as we do any of these changes in interest rates, that there will be this sensitivity to interest rates. Because if you remember back in 2018, we hit 5% interest rates. Historically, 5% is not a bad interest rate. However, now 5% is enough to slow down our marketplace considerably. So there will be a sensitivity to interest rates the more that we have home values appreciate. And then ultimately, we could be inflating an asset bubble. We're not there yet. I'm not talking bubbles, but I'm saying that if we were to continue to zoom forward at the rate of 10, 15% annually, that will in turn create something that has to give at some point in time. And most likely that would be in the form of higher interest rates would slow down the appetite for purchasing so that it goes the other direction. We're not talking about any of that happening soon, but that's what ultra low rates leads to. So what's going on in housing? Overall, what's going on in housing? It's really boils down to the hot interest rates is ruling the day. It is affecting both the supply side of things and the demand side of things. Demand through the roof, supply, it's limiting the supply of homes that are even available today, not only because they're all in escrow, but it's actually limiting homeowners from placing their homes on the market. I'm looking at the number of homes coming on the market compared to the 5-year average, and it's not quite where it needs to be at. So what does that housing supply look like? Well, across the United States, this is from Keeping Current Matters, they have an issue with not enough homes on the market across the U.S. It's off 42.6% annually. In California, off 36.6%. The different counties they're off in different ways. I know that with Riverside and San Bernardino being the most off compared to last year, but even San Diego's off by 50% compared to last year. Then it's Orange County, then last it's Los Angeles County, but still across the board, we have fewer homes in the market compared to a year ago. And this is what the Southern California active listing inventory looks like year over year. We went over these numbers last week, but I have an update for this week. Last week, February 18th, we were at 16,271. It dipped 3% or 466 homes from the start of February till the middle of February. And where are we at today? Or actually, last year we were at 28,928. That's 78% more than where we are at today. An extra over 12,000 homes. We could definitely use an extra 12,000 homes. And even last year was less than the year before, which was less than the year before. So you can see that where we are at today, if last year was low, we're ultra low compared to where we were at a year ago. And today we're at 15,825. That is off another 3%. And I think my addition's off there. But just know that if that's right, oh yeah, it's 446. No, my addition's not off. It's off another 446 in 1 week. We're going the wrong direction. It's going down even further. So the inventory is already an ultra low level. It beats the socks off of 2013. You can see on the left-hand side, that's that little V at the left and where it got really low, and it's way lower than where it's at. So lowest level since tracking began for me for all of Southern California in 2012. It beats 2013, like I was telling you. And I get it. There's a lot of fear out there as to for sellers because there's nothing to buy. So in turn, it is preventing homeowners from coming on the market. I talked about it. January, we were 15% off. We're missing 3,276 homes just in the month of January alone across Southern California. And so far for the first 3 weeks, just shy of 2,000 homes are missing. It's off 13%. So you can see there is an issue of not enough homes coming on the market compared to the 5-year average. There were months towards the end of the year where we were actually placing more homes on the market, but they were going into escrow, but we were doing better than the 5-year average. Now we're consistently doing less than the 5-year average. So it's really causing an issue out there today because a lot of homeowners are scared about placing their homes on the market. We just need to go out there and educate them that there are ways of placing your home on the market and then looking for something at the same time in this kind of a market. So let's talk about housing demand. Southern California housing demand, you could see it's right here. It's pretty much off the, it looks great. It looks off the charts, but it could be even higher. February 18th, we're at 18,606. That's up 11%, or 1,790 pending sales extra compared to the start of February. Last year, we were at 15,923. That's 14% less. And it's the strongest start to a year since I started tracking in 2012. Today, we're at 18,937. That's up 2%, or an extra 331 pending sales from last Thursday. So in 1 week, you can see it's going the right direction. It would be going up faster. It's just that we don't have enough homes coming on the market, like I was saying before. So this is the expected market time. Place your home on the market today when you're opening up escrow. This should say last Thursday, so I blew that. It was last Thursday was 26 days. That was down 4 from the beginning of February. Last year we were at 55 days. Today it's another 20. It's at 25 days, so it shed another day in a week. So 25 days. Anything below 30 is a crazy, ridiculous market, and that's where we are today. The expected market time. This is where we are as of last actually Thursday. And if you draw a line across, gosh, we have never been this hot as far as the expected market time since I started tracking in 2012, and even better than 2013, quite a bit better. So when you have this lopsided, with this low of an expected market time, which heavily favors sellers, where we're in a crazy market, that's where you get a lot of greed starts to set in as we get demand coming off a little bit with rising rates. What's going to happen is a lot of the greedy sellers that are out there will actually end up staying on the market for a little bit longer, and we're going to get an accumulation of extra homes on the market. This is what's going to happen for the second half in my prediction for the second half of 2021. And buyers are frustrated. When there's 25 offers that are generated, only one gets it, which means that 24 have to go back to the drawing board. And I get it. 7 rejected offers. I totally understand. I've seen this. I've heard it. But my only piece of advice is keep on trying. There will be properties that fall out, and then you can be the one that pounces on it once it falls out of escrow. That has happened quite often as well recently, from anecdotal evidence from agents that I've heard from that are out there. So I get it. It's very, very difficult and challenging being a buyer, and being a buyer's agent too. Buyer's agents up against 20 plus offer. Oh, please, baby Jesus. Remember this? This is from a fantastic movie. And you know what? In the end, when you have 25 offers that are generated, only the people with the most cash and the best down payments and lots of money in the banks, those are the people that win all the time. So that's the other disadvantage of this kind of a marketplace, where it's only of course, the ones that are the most fit are the ones that survive. And it's very hard if you have, like 10% down, different things along those lines. So, and as you could see, this is the Case-Shiller National Composite. You could see how it's increased like crazy from the end of last year through today. And that's actually through December. And you can see this looks very similar to 2012, 2013. And then it peaked in 2013 and then started coming down in 2013. And the reason that happened was because of rising rates. So rates are on the rise right now. And I'm right now doing a total sigh of relief. And this was actually taken as of last Thursday, the primary mortgage market survey from Freddie Mac's at 2.99%, so pretty much 3%. It started the year at 2.65, and now we're at 3%. And I can show you over time, interest rates from 1981 to today, they've actually come down quite a bit, from 18% down to where we've been below 3%. And likewise, the United States 10-year Treasury has come down from above 15% to where we were most recently below 1% until this year. So there's this stickiness, this 30-year and 10-year, I've talked about it before, there's this thing called the mortgage spread. And this is what's happened most recently. We've had an uptick in the 10-year bond, including yesterday, and along with that came an uptick in 30-year mortgage. That's because there's this spread that kind of work kumbaya. And if you look prior to the pandemic, this is about 1.7% is the difference between the 10-year and the 30-year mortgage. That's going back in history. Then it became unhinged once we went into the pandemic, but it's fixed since then, and now is hovering right about 1.6, so a little bit better than the long-term average. And that's because the Federal Reserve is playing in the field of lending. They're buying paper and different things along those lines. But most recently, if you look at this, is where we were in 2018 when we hit 5% interest rates in November. And then this is where we were last year when we hit interest rates in the 2s, and the 10-year went below 1 for the first time ever. But then most recently, within the last 6 months, it's gone up. And if you look on the right-hand side, this was yesterday as it went way up. So we went up above 1.5, or now we came down a little bit today. It's actually a little lower than where this was. I took this morning at 1.496%, but you can see it's increased. We were stuck below 1. Now we've zoomed past 1, and now we're in this level where the next big level that we are looking to see it get to is about 1.6. So if you get towards that 1.6, that's where that next level will be. And this is where the trend has been most recently. And what happens with that is we were at 2.75%. We're actually at 2.65%. Today, we're at 3.125%. You can see if you're looking for 20% down, a principal and interest payment of $3,000 per month, you're looking at going from $918,750 now of a home to today, $875,000. So your buying power just shrunk because of rising interest rates. And my prognostication is I think we're going to see interest rates all the way at 3.5% by the end of this year, which now your buying power will shrink further from 875 to 835,000. That's what this chart shows. So as far as what's the impact on payments are concerned, well, 1 year ago we had payments of we had mortgage interest rates at 3.5%. We're at 3.125% today. There's still a big savings. It's $144 per month for a $700,000 mortgage. The annual savings is $1,728. This has been shrinking since I've shown this chart over time. But if you compare it to when we had 5% interest rates in November 2018, the amount of savings is $759 per month. That's why last year we had a feverish pitch of a lot of people entering the marketplace at 3.5%. So even at 3.8%, we're still going to have a lot of activity. It's because you could see the savings from compared to when it was at 5% is still gigantic. And then the Great Recession, if you want to compare it to the Great Recession, this is why you can't compare it to the Great Recession. Look, we had interest rates at 6.35% just prior to the Great Recession. That $700,000 mortgage compared to today is a savings of $1,357 per month, or over 16 grand per year. That is what is saving everybody's hide. They're looking at this. Hey, how can you compare it to the Great Recession when we had such high interest rates? You really can't. So you can understand why people constantly are talking about the Great Recession, but it was a totally different set of circumstances that I got into last week that you can further educate yourself by going back to that housing debrief from last week to review the big differences between now and the Great Recession. So I'm telling everybody, lock it in. For Pete's sakes, lock it in, because values and interest rates are on the rise. And if you see this is what happens at a $700,000 mortgage. Payments today is at $2,999, so basically $3,000 per month. With appreciation is now projected to go up about 8% for Southern California, 8% for the year. Well, what does that mean? And most of it's done within the first 6 months, because that's the busiest time of the year. So basically what that means is that now you're looking at no longer a $700,000 mortgage. If homes appreciate by 8%, so does the loan value, that same loan value. So now you're looking at $756,000 loan versus a $700,000 loan to buy the same house. So basically, you're now looking at an extra $180 per month. That's an annual cost of $2,160. That's what would happen if you wait. Now, furthermore, I think interest rates are going to get to 3.5%. So not only are we going to have the 8% appreciation, but we're going to have the 3.5% mortgage rate. So in turn, what that means is your monthly cost of waiting will be $333 if you wait all the way to the end of this year. And the annual cost is nearly $4,000. So this is what I mean by, yes, I know that you've written 7 offers. Just continue the fight. Eventually, you will find something. So go to reportsonhousing.com, click on subscribe, and you get a month free if you sign up utilizing It's $15 per month or $150 per year. You get a month free if you sign up utilizing the coupon code RATES. And I'd like to thank Kevin Buddy from Monarch Financial, who deals with everything from full doc loans to private money loans and everything in between, has loads and loads of experience, has been doing this since 1976. And contact Kevin Buddy and let him help you at 949-422-2075. That's 949-422-2075. My buddy, your buddy, Kevin Buddy. And that's all I have for everybody today. So I want to thank you for tuning in. Maybe next week we'll have a Q&A session after the housing debrief. Have a fantastic weekend. If you have questions, place them in the comments section. I'll go ahead and answer them as I have time, but just wanted to bring you a little bit something as to what's going on today and the impact on housing with rising rates. And it's something that I actually am asking for. I want to cool off the market. The market's going at 120 miles per hour. I'm just saying, let's bring that down to about 80 miles per hour. We're still moving fast. It's still a seller's market. It's just not going to have 100 offers per property. We're going to have a more reasonable number of offers generated on each property. So thank you so much. Have a fantastic weekend. We will see you on the other side.